I'm going to show you how I embedded a phone case with resin. I used this kind of case. It has hard plastic on the back and it has sort of soft plastic around the sides. I'm using this resin piece which I made using some Alice in Wonderland stickers and some watch pieces, and this little pink bow piece that I made as well. So I've already mixed my resin. If you don't know how to use resin, I will leave my resin tutorials linked in the description, so go watch those, because I assume you have a basic knowledge of resin if you're watching this. I mixed in some glitter and some pearl powders into my two colours of resin, so I have pink and I have lilac here. And then I'm just going to experiment basically by pouring on the resin. I will be very careful with this so you don't pour out too much at the time. Just do it very slowly, just take your time with it because it's not going to cure that quickly. And I just poured it on really slowly like this. I didn't put too much on at all to begin with. I probably would have done the two colours separately if I was to do this again, since pouring two at the same time is a bit tricky. So now I used my lollipop stick and I just pushed the resin very carefully to the edges, not making sure not to overspill. It did spill over a little bit, but it wasn't too bad, so it did work. I just very carefully moved the resin, added a little bit more if I needed to, and I just was very careful with it. You have to be very gentle with it. When doing it around the camera hole, be extra careful, do it really slowly. This part is speeded up a little bit. Just go really slowly, just carefully drag the resin around the edge. You might want to use a toothpick since it's a bit smaller, it might be easier to control the resin with. Just be very careful not to make sure it overspills. When the resin lined up in the middle, I just carefully pushed the two colours together. I'm going to mix them together a little bit on the case itself, but I wanted to make sure that everything was perfectly covered before I did that. Just making sure all the edges are covered to the edge, and then I just sort of dragged and swirled the resin around. This was just random. It's just to merge the two colours together and make a nice kind of swirly pattern. I used a straw to blow out any air bubbles. I then carefully placed the resin pieces on top when the resin is very tacky, so I left it for around an hour up to 2 hours for it to go really tacky, and then I placed my two resin pieces on top. So this is my first attempt at a resin iPhone case, and I do like it, but there is some things I would do differently about it and some things that I would try and change and do better. So I'll go through that. As you can see, it did spill out at the side and a little bit around the top and just the odd bit around the side here. I think that's just because the case was all flat and it didn't actually have a ridge. I might try looking for a case that does have a ridge, but I don't know if there is any of them out there. I don't know if you can get those online or not. I will have a big search around, because if it had a ridge where the silicone was, it wouldn't overspill as much and it would probably look a lot neater, but I don't know if there's any cases that would let me embed things in it like that. Another thing I would change is I wouldn't use a partially clear resin piece. I had made this piece a bit too thick to actually do a second layer on the back, so I just popped it out when it was still clear. But as you can see, when I put it down, the resin sort of, I don't know, dispersed from the side when it sank down, so you can kind of see, if you look here, it is a bit see-through. So I would use a coloured resin piece or one that has a coloured back, like maybe like this one, or a fully finished resin piece, and then put that on, so you wouldn't get a see-through back on it here. I would maybe try and blend the colours in a bit more. There's a lot more pink to purple ratio, so maybe I would change that, but that's obviously just personal preference. It doesn't really matter. The resin around here did not spill over at all, which I'm very happy about. I do like that a lot. I just think I would have to be more careful with doing this part, because although it didn't overspill completely, it did go over the edge, so I would have to be more careful with that. But overall, it's nice. It's still a little bit sticky. I did do it last night, so it's not fully cured, but I think it's pretty much done. And maybe I would like to embed some pearls in. I was going to do that, and I totally forgot to do that. But overall, I do like this piece. I maybe would use a different resin piece, or maybe use different colours in the back to make it more steampunk themed, because the cogs and gears and things inside. There's probably a bit too much going on here. You can't really see the cars and the Cheshire Cat and things. They just sort of get blocked out and lost in it. I do like the bow on there. The bow looks really good. Bows work well. But overall, although it's not perfect, it is my first phone case domed with resin, I do think it worked well. I will also mention that all of the glitter sunk to the bottom, so it is a little bit sparkly on the top. It's more shiny because of the pearl powders, but most of the glitter sunk to the bottom, so I would probably sprinkle a bit of glitter on top just to keep it shiny and glittery. Yeah, so if you try this out, if you try it maybe with a different style of phone case, let me know how that goes. Maybe try it with an all plastic one rather than silicone, well, soft plastic at the sides, that sort of thing. I wouldn't suggest doing it on an all silicone case, because it could just bend and crack off, just like normal Decoden does. So hard plastic cases are the way to go with any kind of decorating on a case. But if you do try it out, let me know how it turns out. Maybe make a video and show me, link it to me in the comments, or maybe link a picture of your case, whatever. Tag me on Instagram if you try it out. Just let me know how it goes. I just want to know how people, you know, do this and things like that. I will mention that this was inspired by a store envy shop. I think it's Cute Can Kill. I will leave a link to their shop in the description, because she makes the most wonderful things, and her resin phone cases are very similar. I don't think she uses resin pieces. She uses more like hearts and bows and wings and things, rather than actual embedded sticker pieces. But yeah, I think this turned out well. I might want to try putting stickers in the resin on the case, but since I'm using coloured resin, it probably wouldn't work. Might have to do clear resin or something, have a clear phone case but with like stickers embedded in. That would be quite cool. All sorts of things you could try out, so if you do have a go with this, again, let me know. But I do like the way this turned out, even though it's not perfect. And I'll just quickly show you how it looks on my phone. So I think it's pretty much cured enough to do this, so let's try it. Let's see. Okay, so the case is nice, goes around the edge like this. I do like the pink edging on it, it fits well, and it just looks like this. I think it's really cute. I will wait until it's more cured. I think I'll put it on wet, actually use the case tomorrow. But yeah, I do like it. And yeah, so let me know if you like this too, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!